welcome everyone once again. So I'm super excited to be on the today's Zoho Inspire session for partners. And for the uninitiated, we just want to make sure that what is the Zoho Inspire thing all about? So Zoho Inspire Bootcamp is for partners, and then this is exclusive partner only. In 2018, Zoho is making a huge stride towards partner education and partner success. And as a part of this thing, you could see that last week we had this really good webinar about blueprint, and this week it's going to be about customization. So what we're going to do on automation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a product expert, someone who has actually designed the product. And on the Q&A today panel today, we also have a bunch of people from the Zoho CRM team who worked with the actual product. So they will be taking questions right throughout the webinar also. So this is going to be a really informative session and interactive session. So keep your questions coming. So let's get started. Now, introduction of the speakers. So the voice that you hear, we are, I would say, rather hearing for the past 2 minutes. It's me, Ambi Murthy. I head the partner acquisition efforts at Zoho. And then I'm more pleased to introduce Dilip to you. So he's kind of darling for most of the Zoho partners. So hi Dilip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hello, everybody. Nice to you all here on board.
Okay. So before we get into the actual webinar, one of the key things about Zoho Inspire itself is to know the speaker and the folks at Zoho upfront. So Dilip has been at Zoho for more than 10 plus years. And then, other than being a successful product manager, he's also a spiritual guy by nature, and then has his own set of adventures with the mystic and the metaphysical. Okay, now that's enough of trivia about Dilip himself, and then I'm pretty sure that I don't have to give away any trivias. You know enough about me. Now, getting back to the topic today, so automation in Zoho CRM. So this is going to be a really interesting topic, and then before we jump into the actual webinar, we're going to look at the agenda and the housekeeping notes. So the housekeeping notes today are pretty simple and straightforward. So Dilip will kick off, and then he's going to talk about what is automation and how it has evolved over a period of time. And then over the evolution, we're going to tie in how Zoho CRM is going to come in, and then how it blended into the automation in sales and marketing processes. And then this is something really huge. So one of the biggest I would say complaint from our partners was Zoho never gives us the visibility into what's coming in next. For the first time, we are going to go ahead and then let partners have the real insights into what's coming next in automation. And of course, please do not divulge any information outside. So keep it with this is you're inside the inner circle, and by the privilege of you being inside the inner circle, you have to make sure that there's going to be privileged information. So you can go ahead and then keep this so that your team can be ready for what's up and coming up. And like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the key highlights of this webinar. So there is a Q&A session towards the end, but you do not have to wait for the Q&A session. So on call today, we also have members of the CRM team from the marketing, product management, and support. So they're here to help you with the Q&A. So when you see Dilip showing something and then you find the thing really interesting, please go ahead and then if you ask questions in the GoToWebinar chat box, and they will respond to you right on chat. So do not wait for the Q&A session towards the end. So go ahead and then keep your questions coming right throughout the session, and then we'll go ahead and then answer them via chat. So Dilip, over to you.
Thanks, Ambi. Hello, everybody again. We'll get started. That's the agenda which Ambi was describing. These are all the topics that we are going to cover. So what is automation? Everybody knows. So
Oh yeah. Oh, Dilip. Okay. So
Sorry.
I kind of like jumped the gun here. So that is actually we do have this hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Zoho Inspire. So if you find any interesting tweets or interesting quotes from this webinar or new learnings, so use this hashtag Zoho Inspire and then tweet them out, and then it's just to get the word around. Okay, keep going.
Perfect. So without automation, you could imagine how the world would be. So then what is automation? So what we are trying to achieve through automation. So any process or technique that actually reduces human errors, increases the efficiency, if it leads to the quality, and if it ensures the consistent output of whatever that it does, it reduces, of course, the labor cost, and it gives you a better customer service. So all these things, so that's the output of an automation, and it actually makes a huge difference. So doesn't it? So once it gets automated, so it makes life easier. Okay, so that's a small definition about the automation. And having said that, so what do we do inside Zoho CRM? So let's look at the a memory lane of what we have done so far. The people who have been with Zoho CRM might be aware of this lane. So we started off Zoho CRM in 2005 when we were doing it. Workflow and assignment rules were already in place. Then we introduced case escalation, field updates inside the workflow, and then the scheduled actions were introduced. Till then, the immediate actions was the only thing. Then we introduced this. We then introduced webhooks, which connects from CRM to other third-party applications. And then in 2012, two-way communication between the services. So from the workflow, you connect the third party. From third party, you receive the necessary responses and push it back inside the CRM. And then in 2014, we have introduced approval process and date-based workflows. Based upon the occurrence of the date, the workflow gets triggered. And then the convert action we introduced. In 2016, you could see about 10 long years we have been having the old UI. So we revamped it, and then we gave the multiple conditions to the workflow, and then we introduced email rules. In 2017, that's the big things we introduced the blueprint. As you all know, it's a big hit, and we introduced schedules. It's a cron job where you can schedule a few jobs inside the custom functions, and that can be called at any time, and scoring rules. So this is the a quick a roadmap that we had, and now we are evolving, and we have a few more things to come. Okay, so before I jump into the demo session of the automation that we provide, let me give you some interesting stats on automation. So this we collected the information for every week. So this many workflows getting created every week. The blueprints, assignment rules, it includes lead assignment rule, contact assignment, and case assignment rules. Of course, the scoring rules, and then the approval processes. So these are all the numbers happening every week. The new rules getting created every week. There is one more interesting stat that I want to share with you. Right. So 10 million records getting touched by the workflow every week. So you could imagine how effective the workflow inside Zoho CRM. 4 million custom functions getting called from CRM. Around 200,000 records are touched by Blueprint. So Blueprint was introduced very shortly, right? So 6 months back we introduced it. So you could see how many records getting touched by that. And the assignment rules. So around 70,000 records getting touched by the assignment rule. So why these stats? So it gives you a good information about how many people started using these automation tools, and they get benefited out of it. And you could see there are so many things. There is one more stat where the number of alerts that get sent from Zoho CRM, it's about 3 million. So that is also another information that I would like to share.
Dilip, I would just want to stop you here for a right minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So for a quick minute. So I looked at all these amazing numbers. Okay, and then it shows the usage pattern and the kind of adoption this feature is getting. So from a very partner's perspective, so what do you think is it in it for a partner? I would assume it would be more around that. Look at the number of people implementing this time. And then this is something which do you think they can give it to their existing customers, their upcoming customers, and then look at the adoption and then drive the adoption for you. And then do you think this could be a key differentiator when people choose a CRM versus a competition?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the reason these stats are being shared. So you can just take these stats. You could imagine probably as partners they might have used a few workflows or blueprint, but the magnitude of the usage inside CRM actually gives how important it is inside the CRM. It's actually part and parcel of CRM by itself. So that actually gives a good indication. They can just go and recommend their customers and other people.
Perfect. I just wanted everybody to get the point that this is a feature, and then this is something which they should be configuring for every single user they're implementing. Right.
Correct.
So they do tens of implementations every week, and then this is something which is extremely useful, and then it is also extremely addictive if we set up the workflow. So probably could be a big takeaway for them looking at the numbers. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Inside CRM, I personally categorize into three ways. One is macro. Uh, so this is something like you club a few actions together, and then you perform by choosing a few records. So most of you are aware of that. So that is macro. And inside the automation, we have a business process management. So we never talked about this term, so we still categorize everything into the automation. So there is a huge business process management happening inside CRM, inside the automation. So blueprint is one. We have approval process and we have case escalation rules. So here the process is clearly defined and human intervention is required to move from one place to another place. So that we call it as business process management, and we have enhancements on each and every feature moving forward. And we have rules and schedules. These functionalities are completely automated. So assignment rules, or it is auto response rules, workflow rules, scoring rules, or schedules. So all these things are completely automated. And this is the third category I would like to put forth. Right. So let's get into the first part, macros. I'll take one topic at a time, and then I'll give you a scenario, and then I'll try to give a demonstration. Just in case if we run short of time, probably I'll try to give the scenarios, and probably you can work on your own. So the first part is the macros. Um, why macros? So if we have the workflows, why macros? So that is the common question we used to get. Just in case you do not know where to automate. Say for example, the scenario which I have taken, Thanksgiving campaign. Okay, so when a Thanksgiving is coming, then probably you can choose a few people and send a campaign saying that, hey, Thanksgiving is coming, probably 20% I can offer for the purchases that you do inside CRM. So that is one way. So anything which can be picked on the fly and an automation can be done from there, macros will be very useful for you. So maybe I'll try to take a demo.
Yeah. I think folks who are on the call today, so this is a really interesting part. So this is where we get our hands really dirty, and then we're going to actually do the demonstration itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Perfect. So now I'm in a leads module.
Now, how do we get to this screen? So this is something which you like to emphasize all the time.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. How do we get to this specific screen?
So it is just leads module. You get inside the CRM and click on the leads module. That's it.
Okay.
So once you have clicked it, you will see the list of leads. Now I would like to run a macro for these two people for some reasons, right? So I'm just looking for some macro. It's not there. So what I'll do is I'll try to create a macro. Okay. So I'll try to send a mail. I think I have. Okay. So there is a template called Thanksgiving email. I'll choose that.
So which you have created before. So you have this thing
Yes.
created. Yeah.
So I've just created this template. Right. So I've chosen that. Now, so once the mail has been sent, what I want to do is I'll try to update a field. Say for example, Thanksgiving 2018. That's the field. That's one of the fields that I have. And once that mail is sent, probably I'll just mark it as sent. And then if I want to create a task, I can create a task. So for this, I don't want to create the task probably. Okay. And there is an interesting option here. So allow other users to use this macro. Just in case if you want to make other users to make use of this macro, you can share this. For this, I don't want to share this. I'll create it. Now it's done. So two leads got selected. So you could see the one which I've created as listed now. I can choose that and it will ask you whether you want to send it or not. So I can still say run and that will be sent. Right. It's done. Now what we will do is we'll go inside the lead and you could see here the macros field update has been done, and at the same time the mail has been sent. All right. So that's about macro. It's a very simple, straightforward thing. You can combine a few things together and you can pick the people you want to run the macro on the fly and you can do it. So there is no automated way is required. So on the fly, on the go, you want to do this, you can do this. So the next one is approval process. So most of you know about that. It's a business process management tool. It's a feature through which you can actually uh, you know go through the process step by step. So the scenario which I have taken are approve your deals based on the discount raised by the deal owner. So that is the demo I'm going to give. And lead source based approval. So based upon the lead source, if you want to approve, that can be done. All right. So let's get into the.
This is basically between the salesperson and the sales manager, director of sales. So if they want to approve, there's a quote, and then the customer asks for 10% more discount.
Exactly.
Now he simply has to escalate to his manager, and instead of him stepping all the way to his desk, he just sends it to him.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it actually curtails down all the manual processes. So the CRM facilitates this automation, the escalation of a few mails to the manager, and the manager can see what's happening and he can approve and or reject based upon his discretion. Right. So again, let's get into the demo. So for this, what we have to do is go to the setup. There's a setting icon there. And this is our setup UI, and you can see something called approval process, right? So I have created a few. Probably I'll just try to open what I have created, or probably I can just create from scratch for you, right? So I want to make an approval process on the deals module. High discount. Something like that. And I would like to execute this approval process both on creation and edit of the record. So this is the interesting part. Now on the approval process, you can define the criteria, the filters. So any record which goes through this filter will be subjected to the process. Now what I've done is there is a discount field. So anything greater than 20% should be approved. So whom should be approved? So I'll use blanks. Okay, so this is the person who is going to approve it. Upon approval, what you need to do? So you want to send mail to the person who is actually owning the record. It's up to you. So what I'll do is I'll choose this one, and upon rejection, again I'll send a mail. So here, when you are rejecting it, either you can send it to that person who is actually requesting it, or you can escalate it to his or her manager, or anybody for that matter. So there are options for you. So based on that, you can choose, and then the templates can be different if you require. So I don't want to send it to anybody apart from the requester for this demo. I'm done. So let me check. So Alicia Banks is the approver, and upon approval, email will be sent. Again on the rejection, and email will be sent. I'm done. Done. Now what I'll do is I'll try to create a deal. Say 10 users annual subscription. And there is a field. So for that we have configured approval. So now what I'll do is I'll say 30% of the discount. Okay. And the deal is created, but this deal will not be accessible, or it will not be available for anybody, because I have given discount as 30%, and it actually abides the approval process that I've created. Now it says waiting for the approval, and it will give me the details of who is going to approve it, right? So Alisa Banks is the approver now. Till she approves, nothing will happen. Now what I'll do is I'll go as Alisa Banks. Here there is a interesting tab called My Jobs. So I can go there. You can go there. You could see the record which I have created is now listed there for our approval, right? So if this user is satisfied and it's fine, she can approve it, or she can reject it. Now what I'll do is I'll reject, and it asks me the reason. Too much discount for the very small user license. Done. That's it. So it gets rejected. Now you could see, as soon as she rejects, it'll come here and it would say record rejected. And if you want to resubmit it, you can do it based upon some other, the changes that she might have told. So this is the approval process that we would like to present, and this is pretty successful. It could be used for various options. This is one of the use cases where it can be used. So once it gets approved, automatically this record will be a part of CRM, and it can be used inside the custom views. It will be part of your forecast. It will be part of your reports and everything. So that's about the approval process.
I believe there is a small issue in this, or a flaw in this demo.
Yeah.
What do you think it would be?
You let me know.
These are Zoho partners, Dilip, so you should not keep them at $20,000. It's actually 200,000. Okay, so the order value is always high. Okay, just kidding. Keep going.
Cool. So that's about the approval process. The next one is assignment rules. Again, this is pretty straightforward, and this is one of the earlier automation tools that we have given. Let's see what we can do with that. So assignment rule is actually, captures the record which comes inside the CRM and assign ownerships to it. So that is the first entry point. That is the first filter inside the CRM. Whatever the record comes inside, that actually captures this and pushes it inside the CRM. So the places that we actually incorporated these assignment rules are the web forms, the social is very pretty new. We just introduced 3 months back, import, and the API. So in all these places, you can make use of this assignment rule to assign the ownerships. So let's get into the demo of that. Again, so we have to go to the setup, just clicking that icon, and from the setup, inside the automation section, there is something called assignment rules. You click on that, and you could see there is a assignment rule which I've already created. Just to give you some information about that, or I can create one. Right. So once you give the lead assignment rules name, you can start giving the entries of it. Say for example, if the annual revenue is greater than $200,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So now any lead which comes inside, which has this much amount of annual revenue, you can assign the ownership based upon your discretion. For me, if I want to assign based on the round robin, I can do it, or I can just choose a particular user and I can do it. So, and then if you want to add a follow-up for that particular owner, you can do that. So what I've done is, let me cancel this. So I have created one more thing for the demo purpose. So what it actually does is, so if the product type is CRM, then assign the ownership by round robin pattern. So these are all the users that I've chosen. Based upon the round robin, the ownership will be assigned to these people. Okay, now I've created. What should I do next? So I have chosen, if you could see, there are 4 different sources through which the assignment rules can be used. Let me choose a web form. Okay. Um, so this is the okay. How do you go to the web form? So you again inside the setup, there is a developer space under which you can see the web forms. You click on that. I've created one web form in which I have chosen a few fields, right? Right. So I have taken the source and I have created this one. Say so CRM. I submit it. So I go to that particular web form. You could see here in the form details page, I have chosen choose a lead assignment rule, the one which I have created, the product type based assignment, right? So now I have submitted a lead. Let me check whether that lead has come right there. So the lead has come inside, and you could see the product type, whatever they have chosen, whatever he has chosen, it's been chosen, and the ownership. So this ownership will be based upon a round robin. So the next time when you submit it based upon the algorithm, automatically the next ownership will be assigned to the next record. So that's how it works. So not only this in the web forms, from the social, if you want to push any leads, whoever is actually at mentioning you. So whatever the rules which you have created based upon that, if leads are pushed inside, that can be assigned ownership based on this rule. And via import, while you are importing it, there will be option to choose the rule and API, of course. So on the API part, you need to mention what is the rule ID, and based upon that, that record will be given access to that owner. So that's about the uh, assignment rule. The next one is auto response rules. Um, this one is actually very powerful. I'm not sure how many people are using this. Maybe I'll tell you the power of this. Right. So I would like to send mails based upon the product which I choose. It sounds to be very straightforward, but inside CRM, wherever you go, so there is always a lot of logics have to be put to achieve this. Let me demo this. The same example. Um, Inside the web form, I go to the same web form. Right. On the form details, there is an option to notify the person actually submitted the form. So the acknowledging the visitor. So you could see there is a use auto response rule template. You can choose that, and based upon the rule, the mails will be sent. Right? There are two rules here, two rules, and based upon the rule, I'll go to the rule first. So let me recap it because there are too many hoppings. So I've gone inside the same web form. Inside the web form, inside the form details, under the form details section, you have something called acknowledge visitor, and under which you can choose auto response rules. So when you are choosing it, you can choose the rules you have created. Based upon the rule entries, the emails will be triggered. So I clicked on that. I've gone inside this rule. Now you could see, based upon the criteria, based upon the product, email can be used. Again, I can create another rule entry. So if the product is help desk, I can choose something else, store visit or something. Let me also change this to product type, and if it is CRM, right? You could see um, a web form is submitted, lead is coming inside the CRM, and when it is coming inside the CRM, based upon what type he has chosen, if he has chosen CRM, then this email will be sent to that customer. If he has chosen help desk, this email will be sent to him. So it is almost like a conditional email templating. So we have given this long time back. Probably most of you might be using it. If at all, if any of you missed it, you can make use of this to ensure the emails are being received to the end customers based upon what they actually choose. So this is about the auto response rules. Okay, the next one is the big one, the workflow. Most of you are aware of this, so I'm not going to get into the basics of what the workflow rules are all about. Let me straight away get into the scenarios. Now a lead is created, and one as soon as the lead is created, probably you would like to welcome that particular lead, and then if you want to give a demo, probably you can give the product demo to them, and then based upon the interactions and other things, you might want to update a field. So these are all the immediate things you would like to know, you would like to do when the lead is coming. There is another aspect to it. If you want to nurture the lead, which actually comes inside the CRM, you need to tap them meticulously. So a series of follow-up mail needs to be sent, and that can be done through the scheduled action inside the workflow. Let's see how the workflow can be configured. Again, so get into the go to the setup. Under the automation, you could see workflow rules, right? So let me demonstrate how a rule can be created and what are all the other parts of it. So with this scenario, what I'll do is the same lead follow up rule. Okay. Now, so this is the work area of the workflow. What I'll do is for each and every creation or edit, or probably I would like to make it as create. For every create, I would like to send a welcome email, right? Maybe product type is maybe for CRM I like to do, right? So a lead is created, and the condition is its product type is CRM, and now I would like to send an email notification immediately. Okay, so welcome email. Done. And I would like to add a few more to it, and I want to add a task, call for a demo probably. So here you could see this task I've already created, which says create a time plus 2 days. So as soon as the lead is created, after 2 days, so a task would be assigned to the lead owner. So based upon the task, they can just give a call to them and schedule a demo. Now I associate that task, and if you want to update any fields based upon your actions, you can do it. So for this, I do not want anything. So instant action, emails been sent and task been added for the owner. Now I save it. And I would like to, so there are so many workflows being created. So what I will do is I'll try to reorder it, because whatever I have created, I want that first, I want that to be executed first, right? So there are two actions to it. It executes based upon the creation. That's it. So the workflow will get triggered when the product type is CRM. So let's create a lead. And again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so the important part is this record has to go to that particular workflow. So the conditions should be met. For that, I have to choose CRM. So if the CRM is not chosen anyway, the workflow is not going to get executed. Okay, cool. So Ambi is already there.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now you could see um, these are all the next actions: introductory call, call for demo, and other things. So you could see this is the call for demo that we have created. And then the emails that we have sent. Right. So the emails, it would have been sent to the lead, and that would be listed very shortly. So this is a very straightforward workflow where any lead comes inside, I schedule a demo and send a welcome email to that particular user, and that's it. So this is the immediate action. If I would like to have a nurturing process to it, then what will happen is I have to schedule it. Now, first mail has been sent. If I want to send a couple of mails in a span of a week or so, that is also a possibility. What I'll do is I'll come here, schedule after, say, for example, uh, 2 days, right? So I would like to add a few actions to it. Say again an email notification, and another action probably in another 5 days, probably a field update. So like this I can keep on adding the scheduled actions so that I'll make sure that the lead is actually nurtured properly and it is ready for the qualification, and it gets converted very easily. So that's about the workflow. There are two more things I would like to give some insights. You could see there is something called webhook, and another one is the custom function. So these two things are the most powerful stuff inside Zoho CRM. So one is it actually goes and connects another software. Say for example, you have your own legacy systems, or some other system, any changes happens inside the CRM. So how do you notify to that particular software? So you can achieve it through the webhook. Actually, this workflow acts as a webhook register. So you can configure a URL inside it, and whenever a lead or a deal or a contact gets created, if you want to notify to that software, you can achieve it through the webhook. So this is very, very powerful. It actually, leads to the extensibility of the software. The next one is the custom function. This is two-way. Now, for example, a deal is created. From the deal, you would like to create a project in some other software or Zoho projects for that matter. So you can create a custom function, trigger it, and then if you want to update back any IDs or any information to Zoho CRM, that is also possible inside this custom function. So these are all the two important aspects. For this demo, I'm not covering that because it involves a lot of the coding and other things. Maybe I can just browse this custom function to all of you. So you can configure it if you want to create a new custom function, and you have the list of galleries. You can write your own. That's about it. Okay. So that's about the workflow rules. We will move on to the next one, scoring rules. Um, this is uh, this is again a very good hit after we introduced the blueprint. So it was done some 6 months back. What it actually does, you create some rules. Through that rule, the priority of your records happens automatically. So all of a sudden, everything will be falling in place. You might have the bunch of leads. You do not know which lead needs to be tapped first and which needs to be tapped second. So through the scoring rules, you can derive scores based upon the field values or based upon how much responsive they are and how much they are actually tapping us. So based on that, the priority of those records will be done. So I'll I'll try to quickly give you a demo of how through based upon the fields the scores can be created.
Okay. Uh, just a just a quick interruption because of the sound. I'm just going to. We're back. Okay.
Okay. Let me go to the scoring rules demo. So for this, again, go to the setup. Again, the automation section. You could see scoring rules. Okay. I'll quickly brief what I have done. So I have created a few rules in which I have made something like if industry is ERP, I have added 10 points to it. If the lead source is chat, again 10 points. So similarly, for each and every aspect of the configuration, I have added some scores, right? Say for example, I would like to add another field for which I would like to, specify some points. Product type is say CRM. Then what I'll do is I'll give 10 points. So this is pretty straightforward. Based upon the availability of a few information inside the lead, you can give points. That is one way. There is another aspect to it. Based upon the emails they do. Say for example, if whatever the emails you send, if they open, you give 10 points. If they click, you can give 10 points. If it gets bounced, then that lead is not actually available, so you can reduce the points based upon your discretion. You can do that. So similarly, for each and every aspect to it, you can assign scores. The interesting part is it's all not hard coded. For example, you are going to install a few extensions from the marketplace. If those marketplace are written such a way that they can also contribute for the scoring, there is a possibility. So here, survey campaigns, Facebooks are there, right? So if any GoToWebinar extension is being installed, then automatically that integration part will be coming here, and you can define scores for that as well.
This is pretty interesting. So you not only get to score actions that are based just from inside CRM data,
Correct.
but also the system integrates with other third-party apps, go to webinar,
Correct.
and then depending upon their actions, you get to take so somebody attends a webinar,
Exactly.
20 points.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as of now, these are all the 4 modules that we have supported, and we are extending it to all the custom modules as well. So that's about the scoring rule. Okay. So we have covered pretty much about what all the automations that we have inside CRM. For all the administrators, this is always a headache. There are too many automations inside CRM. What is the order in which it gets executed? So this is the order. So as soon as a record comes inside, it goes through the assignment rule, assigns the necessary ownerships to it, and then the workflow gets executed, and then the approval process, then it gets into the blueprint, and then the scoring rule. So this is the order of execution as of now. There are quite a few issues in that. Say for example, if you want to do some scorings based upon the scoring rules, if you want to trigger some workflow, it is not possible as of now. So what we have done is, moving forward in the upcoming update, we have just moved the scoring rule to the second position. So it would be like assignment rule and then the scoring rule, and the rest of the things remains the same. So this is the order of execution as of now, and moving forward the scoring rule will come in the second place. So that's about the order of execution. Okay, this is the interesting note that I would like to share with you. So why I've quoted this is, so whatever the automations that we do, so when we look back, it's not even enough. So it gives us extra mileage. What extra automations that you can do moving forward? What are the other things that you can do moving forward? So having said that, inside CRM, what is actually coming up inside the automation? Let's look at that. There are so many things are coming. So just to brief a few things for you, the first one is the custom action. I'll go one by one. I'll give the necessary briefing of each and everything. The second one is ZIA insights and workflows for calls, social and email, reports on workflow, and we will be giving a gallery of workflows where people can just choose the workflows on the fly. Right. So this is what I mean. Inside the workflow, there is always a certain set of actions already been defined. You cannot derive one more extra actions inside the workflow. Now we are extending that. You can create your own custom actions and put it inside the workflow, and then by just clicking on that, a UI can be opened. That UI can be completely driven by you through the widget. So we are going to provide widget support inside CRM for the upcoming release. So you can just, that's the example that I've quoted. Now you have created a GoToWebinar widget. and when you are writing it, you're also included the actions to it. Schedule go to webinar is the action. So this is about giving custom actions to it. Zia Insights on workflow, it will give you if any modification happens, whether it is a drop or increase in the number of records being touched. On the call module, if any incoming calls comes, what happens, what should be triggered, any missed call, scheduled calls. So these are all the types of execution parts that we are offering. Again, on the email part, if outgoing mail is sent, what needs to be done? If an incoming mail is being received, what needs to be done? And this is the reports on the workflow. You go inside the workflow and you could see how many alerts have been sent from a particular workflow, how many have been opened, how much delivered, all the necessary insights about that particular workflow. And this is the gallery I was talking about. So this is the sample. So we'll be piling up lots of gallery, so that user need not create on their own if they do not know anything. So they can just pick and choose the workflows they want, and at the same time you have the privilege to create your own. So that's pretty much about automation.
Okay, really, that was a really, really comprehensive, I would say, information-packed plus power-packed presentation. Okay, so thank you so much. So, so I would like to also briefly apologize a little bit, so because of that sound. But anyway, it's been taken care, so we'll make sure that next time it doesn't happen again. Sorry if it was a bit too jarring. Now it's time for Q&A, and before we jump go into the Q&A, we have a quick poll that is coming up. So the poll is right there on your screen. So the moment of truth for the leap. Okay, so based on the uh, overall webinar, can you please rate this webinar based on the content and the delivery? So 1 being the lowest and then 5 being the highest. Okay, so just click one of the option and then please rate it for us. So 1 being bad and then 5 being excellent. Okay, so go ahead and then rate the webinar, and then we'll go ahead and meanwhile you can keep the Q&A questions coming. So please go ahead, so I can see the results coming in. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. I'm just nodding my head because I can actually see the results in real time. Okay. So keep going. So Dilip, so this is, I think this is probably a first partner webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about this thing?
Partner webinar, yes. I think
Exclusively.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So nice to get in touch with a lot of people.
Other than Zoholics, now it's a good chance for you to
Yes.
meet our wonderful partners. Okay, so I think I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. There you go, right there on your screen. Oh my God, this thing is out of the park. So you could see that about 85% of almost 90% of the people today, if they voted, it's good and excellent. Probably the average rating would be somewhere around 4.3 out of 5. Amazing job, Dilip. Thank you so much. Now jumping on, enough of our own trumpet. So let's go to the Q&A session. Now, I think I also want to quickly drop in a quick word of appreciation to Priya from the product management team, Jody from the product marketing team, and also Chakrapani from our user education team. Okay, so those are the guys who've been like really, really helpful in answering the questions on the fly. And then, okay. Okay, so there's a question from Danny, and then this question from Danny is, all the future stuff, when is this going to be available? The most critical question of this webinar. Right. So when do you think all this is going to be available?
Yeah, so today is Feb 1st, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it would take at least 4 to 5 weeks for the partners to see this. A few things might get delayed, like the gallery might get delayed, and So the rest of the things are pretty much are online, but it's like it's a tentative date, so it might get extended. So as and when we are ready, so the first preference would be given to the partners, so they can definitely will get an early access, and we will keep you posted on that.
Okay, perfect. Amazing answer. So I think we could pretty much run out of time, but what I'm going to do is, so anybody who wants to stick around for extra 5 minutes of Q&A, you can stick around. So because there are some really fantastic questions, we want to make sure that everybody gets to know this thing. So there's a question that says, the Zoaholics 2018 for India being planned? Yes, of course. Just go keep posted on, just keep a tab on the zoaholics.com website, and then we'll make an announcement very, very soon. Okay, so there's a question coming in from Sunil. So his question is, let me see. Deals does not have a discount field, so can we implement approval process based on discount in the quote line items? So is this something is already possible?
Okay, so does he mean? I'm not sure about the question. Can you go to the
Okay, so Sunil, looks like you need to go ahead and then rephrase the question for us. So sorry about that. Now, Vincent says we can connect model Zoho to model Odoo. Which steps we must be passed by? So I think he's talking about the lead scoring rules, and then they're talking about an app called Odoo. So is there a way in which he can connect actions from the app into the CRM? So it probably is asking about APIs available for the connection.
Yes. So if any custom action needs to be configured, whatever you want to have it inside the CRM, so any lead or deals getting created, you want to do a custom action, and or you want to create some external actions from CRM, that is possible through the custom actions that we are trying to provide for this release.
Okay, perfect. And then Francis says that loving the workflow gallery idea, can we create our own private gallery?
So private galleries, so whatever they create, it's always theirs. So they want to contribute to the gallery, then we can definitely think about it.
Okay. Okay, so moving on. So there's a really nice question. Are there any from Gopinath? And then, so are there any recorded webinars or documentation available on building custom functions? I'm assuming yes. So yes. So I just get confirmation from the team. The answer is yes. So once we are done with this webinar, there's going to be a follow-up mail with all the documentation and most of the user education stuff. So so we'll send it to you once we are done with this call. Okay. So other than that, yes, a recording is available. Okay, Danny says it's a very good format of presentation. Thank you. And then, okay, Meeta has this really nice question. Been playing with Zoho Flow for the last couple of days. Are there any plans to replace Zoho CRM workflows with Flow itself? Pretty interesting question. What do you think?
Yeah, so
a feature is actually a product.
That's right. That's right. It is almost like the blueprint, whatever the flow that we are capturing inside the blueprint. Now it's been taken out, and we have made it as a separate product by itself. So we need to see how we need to link these two services together. Uh, let us analyze this, and probably we will see what we can do moving forward.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. And okay, there's one more question. So one last question uh, from Bill Crane. Ring Central meetings. You have the phone integration, WebEx, Zoho meetings for custom actions. So I think he's kind of like following up on your answer, I believe. Or Bill, are you requesting these integrations? Okay, so while we get to it, and one last question, different question, not automation. When can CRM users be added as a selection field?
You mean you want the users, CRM users, to be as one of the fields inside the CRM? If that is the case, yes, we are coming up with users lookup fields where you can pick any CRM users inside any modules apart from the owner. We are coming up with, we are almost done with the testing, so it would be available for release.
Okay, so we do still have for okay. Bilkun has answered here for the custom actions aside from GoToMeeting. So he wants to know in lead scoring module, right? So the one or the scoring module that you showed us right now. Other than GoToMeeting, he's asking, do you have plans to integrate RingCentral Meeting or Zoho Meeting itself, and other web conference and WebEx systems being planned to be integrated by default?
Okay, so Bill, so your question is, the GoToMeeting is one of the actions that we provide inside the workflow. If your Whether your question is whether it can be done through the extension or you can create on your own custom actions. As of now, it can be done through the extensions, and the extensions will have the facilities to include the custom actions inside Zoho CRM. It can be done from the platform.zoho.com or developer.zoho.com. That can be done, and the widgets can be linked to that. So from CRM, the custom action creation will not be supported for this release. Moving forward, those custom actions that we provide in the developer.zoho.com will also be available inside the CRM.
Okay, I think I don't want to keep stretching this thing. So amazing webinar, amazing Q&A, and I think it has been really super helpful and then really good session. Thanks, thank you team. So we get so all compliments to you and your wonderful team, believe. So what I'm going to do is, so there's going to be a follow-up email probably from one of the team members. So Jody is going to be sending you those follow-up emails with the content, more amazing material to read and all that. If you have any questions, just write to her and then she'll be able to help you with any information that you need. So Dilip, thank you so much for doing this thing. And then until next time, it's Ambi who's signing off. Much love. So any closing remarks from you?
Nothing. So it was nice. It was nice talking with you all. Catch you in the next webinar.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.